I ditched static ATMs for a chart native position tool that will size every trade off my live account, rebuild orders the moment I drag an anchor, and frees me from complex ATM template overload. Stick around for the 10 features that will change how you trade with NinjaTrader and make things so much easier. So what's the tool I'm talking about? It's the XABCD Position Tool. I'm going to click once for my entry point, once for my stop, and this is going to submit your orders for you. It's not just going to figure out the size. Yes, it will do that. So you can base it off of a risk, percentage, or a dollar sign, or 8 other things depending on if you use a prop account or not. So what you're going to do is be able to attach this to the current market and place market orders, or you can detach it and place limit orders wherever you want. It's going to size it correctly for you and so much more. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So here are 10 cool things I think you'll really find useful about this tool. This is our menu for the XABC Position Tool. I'm just going to grab my marker here and circle that for you. So you can see this menu can be moved. You can actually pick it up and you can float it to wherever you want it to be. It can also be permanently put on one side of the trading tool or the other in any position you want. So it doesn't cover anything up. The buttons can be changed as well in the way of size. So you have total flexibility of this thing. But this orange rocket, this is what I'm going to focus your attention on. This is going to place your entire OCO trades with as many targets as you want, allocating those targets with whatever percentage you want, all in one click. As you can see, there's also a hotkey shortcut there, Control-Shift-X, that can be customized too. So one click, one hotkey button, and you've just placed your entire complex OCO without using any ATMs. That includes break even and trail orders. So let's set those up. You're only going to have to do this once, but we're going to launch the property window, and I'm going to drag this over from my other monitor here so you can see it. You're only going to have to set this up once because we're going to enable break even and trailing stops. So where am I here? Break even, check. Trailing stops, check. Easy enough, right? So we're going to save this so we don't have to do it every time as the default template. And I'm going to close this. So now watch what has happened here. We have a trailing stop line and we have a break even line. Well, where do we want to put them? The genius thing about this tool is everything's going to be graphical on your chart. So if you don't want your break even button to be there or your break even trade, click and drag it. And look, you get these guidelines that is going to be right across your screen. So if you are trying to line this break even up with support resistance or something else, you can have that show and just click and drag. Now it's locked in. Your trailing stop, you can do that too. Let's just say I want to push it up here. After my second order gets filled, now I want to trail my stop. Now that's done. You also see how much money or percentage or whatever your risk multiple is. All that information is all on your targets. And yes, guess what? You can customize that. You can turn off what you don't want. You can see what you do want to see. There's even a clean mode where you can check it off, and your tool, when you deselect it, is going to hide everything. And then it's going to show you everything when you select it again. So when I say that this tool does everything, I hope it does. If you see anything that you're like, oh, I really want that, we probably already have it, but if not, we're always looking for more feature requests. So yeah, that's how easy it is to enable break even and trailing stops and actually place them. All right, let's talk about market orders. I'm going to place an entry point and my stop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this pin, and it's now pinned to the current market price. So as this market moves, you're going to see my position tool move at the same time. Now, all I have to do to fire off an order is hit that rocket, and away it goes. Now, this has been defined by my predetermined risk. So let's go into our properties box. I'll show you that in a second too. All right, let's talk about how we can configure our risk. We have percentages or dollar signs or a bunch of other different ways. I'm going to leave a link for a blog article if you want to read about this, but some of these are going to be really useful for prop accounts. Others you might just want to use as a percentage or a fixed dollar amount. Now, what you're going to do is define that predefined risk. I have mine set for 1.5%. And then what you can do after that is decide if you want to enable an account floor. Some of this might be useful, for instance, if you have like a 25K prop account, but you're only allowed to trade 1,500 $1,500. You want to base your risk percentage off that 1,500 and not the 25,000. You can have an account floor in there too. There's a whole bunch of stuff. You can specify maximum of contracts, a maximum daily loss. You can enable that based off a fixed amount or a percentage, whatever you want it to be. It can do it for you. So this is all done automatically. Now, what I mean by that, and there's one other thing. There's a checkbox here that says prevent exceeding max risk. That means that you will not be able to provide a deeper stop than what your risk will allow you to. So it's going to force you to either move your position down to move your stop down, or it's going to warn you and say you can't exceed it and snap your stop back to where it was. So that's really cool. If you never want to exceed, let's just say 1.5% of the trade, and you want to have that enabled, definitely recommend it. So what we're going to do here is we are going to place I'm not actually going to, I guess we could place orders. I'm going to do it as a limit this time, not a market order. And what I've done is I brought my tool down. So now it's not attached to the market. You can tell that also by the pin icon, and I can fire this off by hitting this rocket. Now what that's done is it's figured out based off that 1.5% in our account balance here, and this being an ES contract, how much it should place to be within that 1.5%. So it's going to allow me to place 14 contracts. But here's what's really cool. You drag the stop down and it's going to readjust those orders for you. It's going to change the quantity, right? So we can move this around and it's going to readjust those orders and place your new OCOs automatically for you. Or you can move your risk down and it's going to change the contract size to keep you within that 1.5%. This is done automatically. Your chart trader, if you notice, gets updated as I move this around. So you are not doing this manually. This is why I said less errors. Right? So you can also have this attached to the market. You can move your stop and then it updates chart trader, but it doesn't obviously place your orders until you fire that off automatically. So really slick there the way that this thing works and auto calculates it for you while maintaining that risk. All right, let's talk about customizing targets. We talked a lot about risks and stops and all that jazz. How do we go about customizing these? Well, we have these cool little buttons that float alongside, so we can click on the plus and we can add a target. Do you see that? You click on the plus, you add a target. You can click on the minus and you can remove targets as well. This will stay like that because it will automatically update your properties, which let me bring over here and we'll discuss a little bit about targets. All right, we're going to go orders, and then we're going to see up at the top it says targets as 2 targets because we just deleted a whole bunch. We can click there and it's going to show us what risk reward we have those attached to. So you can add in your own. If you don't know what to put, just add a target and visually change it and it will update it for you. Okay, so this is all done. You can have different line styles based off that, but you also have this allocation percentage. So if you want to do this manually, you can. Otherwise, there's an option to have it front heavy, back heavy, or evenly distributed. Now, what am I talking about? Your orders, right? So let's just say you had 3 contracts and you're going to take one off at each profit level and you had 3 targets, right? So that's evenly distributed. You can have it where you have 10% for your first target, 80% for your second, 10% for your last. That's what your target allocation percentage is. Okay. So we can close this. And like I said, the easier way is to pick either evenly, front heavy or back heavy, or what we just talked about, custom, and putting in the percentages. Really easy to maintain your targets. If you are concerned about margin, we have solved that problem too. This takes the account balance that you are currently attached to. So down here, your position tool, this is for security reasons, has this masked out. This is my Sim 50K account. Now it's pulled in all that information and it's put it into a nice little margin window for you. So it tells you how much money you need for your overnight and how much money you need to carry that through for the day. So you have your daytime margin, you have your available margin, your balance, how much you need overnight, what that risk is, how much that is in a dollar value, your per contract risk, how many units you'd be allowed to take with that, your whole trade structure, so your point values, your tick sizes, all that stuff is all in one window. So that is your margin maintenance window. Now you turn that on by going to your properties, and you can actually enable this and save it by default if you want, or just turn the checkbox on. Let me bring that window over. So it's underneath the other tab, and you have what you call show margin maintenance, and you can turn that on or off depending on if you want to see it. Really slick. Highly recommend you check it out at least once. If not, always have it up there if you're someone that trades close to their margin. Now you've already seen how much you can customize this tool. We made that even more customizable in our appearance tab. You can change the color or the font size for anything you want. That includes the button, the positions, all the text, where your break-even trigger line would be, your guidelines, your everything. So you have a lot of options there, and that can sometimes be daunting to know what looks good. If you just have a white background, you want to make it look good, or a dark background, whatever. We also have color themes. So you click on this and there's a whole bunch of pre-populated themes. You can just pick them and it changes it for you. So just pick one you like. Make sure it's something that you like to work with, and have it customized after that. If you want, just change the one color that you want. But these are all the themes that are built in that will make your position tool look great no matter how you want to use it. Okay, let's talk about trailing stops, because this is dynamic. So you're not going to have to worry about having tons of ATMs to try and have fixed sizes. This is going to be dynamic. It knows how many ticks back your stop is. So based off that, you have the option between having a smooth trailing stop, which is going to start at your stop and it's going to work its way up once that trailing stop activation line is hit, and it's going to start at the back and it's going to work its way all the way up and keep on going until you finally get stopped out. That's smooth. A jump is when it's going to jump, let's just say 25 ticks, and then start at that point. That's more of like an ATM thing through NinjaTrader. So you have the option of having a smooth one that's automatically going to be calculated. This is not hard to set up. You're not working with different stages, and no, this is one thing. You have your trailing stop. You pick your units or a percentage, whatever you want. You type in that number of when it's going to kick in, or just adjust it on your chart, and then pick if you want it to be a smooth or a jump. And the jump is going to give you one more option of where you want that distance behind your current price to be. So really simple. You got like 4 fields to pick out, maximum 3 for most of you probably, and you have a checkbox to enable it. Very simple, but a very useful feature. All right, this is really cool. It's a little hidden option here. It says enable TTS, text to speech audio. You click that on. Now, anytime your tool does something, let's say you get to break even, say you get to that trailing activation point, targets hit, it's going to call it out. It's going to say your target was hit, or whatever, you wanted, whatever happens at that point, it's going to just walk you through a text to speech engine, your entire trade.
Stop hit. Stop hit.
So we're going to go one step further and try and help you manage your risk. We have a setting here that is going to be your maximum risk setting. And this is going to be really neat because it's going to talk about what your maximum order quantity would be as like a hard cutoff, which is going to take priority over anything. Your maximum daily loss can either be set by a fix or percentage or any of those other risk modes. And then we can prevent you from exceeding that max risk by not letting you take any more trades. It's going to error out. So it's not going to close you out of trades. We're not trying to be your caretaker. This is going to prevent you from going into new ones by giving you those warnings if you've exceeded your maximum daily loss. So really handy. It's another little protection thing that you can just, a reminder that automatically it's going to happen in the background for you, which is really nice to have. So we have here our copy trade plan button. Now I'm going to show you what this thing does. This is what it would look like in an email. All you do is you hit that copy button and you paste it into an email, and this is what you get. It's designed for an email. Now, if you wanted to paste it into an Excel sheet, it's going to be in a text-based format. If you want to put it into a Discord, it's going to be like a rich text format. It's going to put it into the medium that you need in the format that you need it. That's going to look the best. This is great for your own trading logs to keep records of things. If things are hard and you have to manually put them in, you're not going to do it. But one button, click and save, you'll actually have a trade plan with recorded trades that you want to use.